sides of the triangle. So your midpoints would be D and E. You know those are the midpoints because you have those little tick marks. So this is congruent to this. That means that's in the middle. This is congruent to this. So that's in the middle. They're not all congruent, but each side is split in half. So my example for this is D, E. So the mid segment is literally right here. So I'm going to put it like the word mid segment. So the mid segment's in the middle. The mid segment theorem, which is where the formula comes from, it says if a segment joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle, then the segment is oh, why am I having a brain fart? The segment is if a segment joins the midpoints of a triangle, then the segment is what did I write last class? Oh, parallel. Sorry. I'm having a brain fart. Parallel. Oh, this is where the colored pencils come in. And this is the math part. The side is half as long. So we're going to take one of our colored pencils. Doesn't matter what color. Your mid segment, if you look, this line is parallel to this line, meaning if they continued outside the triangle, they would never cross paths. And using your eyeballs, you should be able to tell that the mid segment is not the same length as the base. It is half as long. So we're going to write two things down here. The first information is we're going to say that DE, which is the mid segment, is parallel to AC. So they are parallel. They never cross paths. Because they are parallel and it's creating a mid segment, they are not equal. They are half as long. So your brain is going to work in two different ways. You can either think that you're cutting something in half to make the inside, or if you're given the inside, you can double it to go out. So we're going to say that DE is equal to half of AC. So meaning if the outside is given, the long piece, the middle is half as much. You would cut it in half. Using the opposite math, we could say that 2 times DE, equals AC. So whatever your brain is thinking, you can either multiply by 2 to go out, or if you're given the outside, you can cut it in half to go in, because cutting in half and doubling are basically flip-flopping, going the opposite direction.
Wait.
Yes.
If you're going to be right, like no matter which one.
Yes. So whichever one you want to do. So you can either think I can divide by 2, or I can multiply the other side by 2. So either cut the big one in half, or you multiply the small one by 2. So what we're going to do first is we're going to identify all the parallel segments. So your colored pencil, what we're going to do is if I say QR, so pick one colored pencil. If I say QR is parallel to a line, what mid-segment matches with QR? WY. So these are parallel. They're not the same length, but they're parallel. So WY. Let's do another one. If I say XW first, what is that parallel to? RS. The last one, if you want to exchange like a colored pencil with your neighbor so that we have a third color. The third color is going to be let's do the outside and the inside. So these are all parallel. If I say QS, what is that parallel to? XY. So try number 2. You are writing all your parallel lines. Technically, your letters can be flip-flopped from your neighbor. You can be flip-flopped from what I'm writing, as long as you have this matching segment. One interior line, one exterior line, they run parallel. And you're writing the order of letters. The letters can be flip-flopped this way. Eyeballs.
So we do number 2 now?
Yep, try number 2. You're writing out your parallel lines.
Doesn't matter
if the small one goes first or the big one. Whichever line you want to put first, whatever order you do. Like I choose KL. But with KL, it's gonna be. Yeah, but technically we're gonna go all the way. So F, G, or G, so you just want to the outside. Doesn't like that whole like line. G, H, is not good. Yeah. Oh, G, yeah. G, yeah. J, right. Okay, so can anybody tell me one pair?
GH and JF.
Perfect. GH. JL. If you wrote those in opposite orders, if your letters are flipped, it does not matter if the statement is flipped, whatever, as long as you're using those letters. What's another one?
FH, JK.
Good. JK and FH. Once again, if the letters are flipped, if the whole statement's flipped, that is okay as long as you have that combination. The last one I'm missing is what? GF, KL. Perfect. GF. And then KL. Okay, so let's do some math because we haven't done any math yet. So for number 3, it says L, M, and N are midpoints. So they're telling me they're in the middle of the sides of P, Q, and R, triangle PQR. We're going to put these information on our picture. So P to R is 46. P to R, this whole distance is 46. P to Q, this whole thing is 40. L to N, which is on the inside, is 17. So this little piece is 17. So now your math is involved. The mid segment is not equal to the outside. It is half of the outside. So you're thinking you're multiplying by 2 to go out. If you're given the outside, you're cutting it in half to go in. So let's start with the first one. I need to find LM. LM is parallel to what side? PR. If I know PR is 46, how do I get LM? Yeah, I divide by 2 because it's half of it. So if this is 46, I divide it by 2. How much is the inside? 23. MN is the next thing I'm trying to find. Where the heck is MN? MN's here. MN is parallel to what side? QP, PQ, whatever. Okay. Now I know the outside is 40. So how much is the inside? 20, because you cut it in half to go in. The next one wants QR. QR is on the outside. So you multiply it because it matches with NL. So 17 is half of the outside. So now I'm not cutting 17 in half because it would get even smaller. I'm going to double it because it's going out this time. So 17 times 2 is how much? 34. So out here is 34 because it's double the mid segment. And then the last thing I want to know is MR, which is this little piece right here. 17, because it's a midpoint. A midpoint means in the middle. So if the whole thing is 34, you split it in half. Each side is technically the same as the mid segment, which is 17. So try number 4. Put your numbers on your picture first. The mid segment that matches with the corresponding side is half or double, whatever you want to think of. Like mid segment is half the amount of the parallel sides. Put your numbers on your picture. And all we're doing is we multiply by 2. Or dividing by 2. That's it.
Moving forward too.
Yeah, try 4. But you're just doing it wrong.
I can't listen, Kelly. On. I'm sorry.
Start going out and applying with 2. Oh, what's the minutes?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I would question. Yes.
Rotors where you have it on the side. So you need, so what's the perimeter of C, D, E, so it's all the outside letters. They're gonna add up the outside numbers. This is 7. So one of those 24. How much is it?
Wow. Yeah. Outside of my first.
Okay, so how much is CE? 14, good, because I had to double it to go out, so that's 14. For DE, that's here. So that matches with 9. I gotta double it to go out, so how much is that? 18. Perfect. FH is the little piece on the inside, so I'm not doubling it. I'm cutting it in half because it's going in. So how much is that? What? 12, good. And then you need to find the perimeter of the outside, so that's adding up the outside numbers. So if it says the perimeter of CDE, that's your outside numbers. So you're not adding all of them, just the outside. So 24, 18, and 14, how much total is that? 56. Okay. Not bad. We're not doing all of these on the front, just so you know. Kind of looks like a lot. We're gonna skip a bunch soon. Actually, we're gonna do 5. We're gonna skip 6. So 5 says find the value of X. So this is where your math gets started. The idea is using your brains. This is not the same as this. They are not equal. You should have enough common sense to know that this is smaller than this. They're not the same. So mathematically, what should I do to set them to do math? I'm gonna know. Because they're not technically equal.
Half them people 172.
Nope.
Oh, shoot.
They don't add to make 180 because they're not angles, but we will be doing that when we get to the angles. These are side lengths.
You put 2 7 there. I was gonna say double the 7.
So you could double the 7. So you could say 7x plus 7x because you could double it, or you could literally double it by multiplying by 2. So the goal is you're going to take the inside and we're going to multiply this bad boy by 2. So I'm going to put a little times 2 here. So your goal is we're going to multiply by 2 on the inside. So 2 times 7x because we're doubling it. And we're going to equal it to the outside, which is 17x minus 18. You could take the outside and cut it in half and equal it to the inside, but then you're going to get decimals. So let's not do that. Let's just double the inside. So we're going to double it. Technically, we're going to multiply this. If it had more than one term, we would use the distributive property. 2 times 7x is 14x equals 17x minus 18. I cannot add 18 at this point. What should I do instead?
So 5 14.
No. Subtract 17. If you subtract 14, then there's nothing on the other side and your equal sign disappears. And then people just move it randomly to the middle, and that's how you end up with a negative instead of a positive. So I'm going to minus 17. That makes negative 3x equals negative 18. Now I have the 2 negatives. Last step, I divide. So how much is x? 6. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to skip 6. We're going to go to 7. 6, 7. Okay, so let's go to 7. You're going to take the inside, the mid segment. We're going to multiply it by 2. And we're going to equal it to the outside. Mid segment is getting doubled. So what am I multiplying by 2? 4x plus 1. So this inside gets multiplied by 2. I equal it to the outside because they're not technically equal to start. You have to double the middle. Now this has 2 terms, so you're going to have to distribute. Make sure when you multiply by 2, it goes to everything in the parentheses. 2 times 4x, 2 times 1.
You were going to say, isn't this other block? It is.
Right here. Next year, you'll go back to quadratics and exponential functions. But for now, enjoy it while it lasts.
Thought about it once. Oh, no, I drew it too.
Ew. No, all of you will go out too.
Might even feel on geometry. I forgot to too, since I've had one.
No.
Oh.
You just need algebra. But if you don't have algebra, then you really need fashion. And then geometry, you just try best on because it's still like a percentage of your final. So
The calculations. This thing. So that when you mean, for example, I have to.
it depends on what you're like. Are you talking about algebra too? Or are you talking about calculus? What are you talking about?
You are. What?
Well, you need 4 math credits total. So you have algebra 1, you'll have geometry, and then you'll take algebra 2. And then after algebra 2, you can decide where you want to go. If you want to do math for data and financial literacy, if you want to go to statistics, if you want to go to pre-calc. After algebra 2, you got options. But until then, you're stuck on a path. So what do we get for X? 9. Okay. We got to find DE. So that means we got the extra step. We got to plug it back in. We're going to use substitution. DE is the small piece on the inside. So this is the part that you don't really need to show. You're taking 9. You're substituting it in. You're doing 4 times 9 plus 1. So how much is that in the calculator? 37? 37. So DE is 37. We're going to skip 8. We're going to go to 9. So 9s is the same thing. What I want you to do is, you're going to try to figure this one out. It says if MN, NO, and MO are midsegments, find the perimeter of JKL. So you're going to have the extra step in the end to add up all the sides. First, you need to solve for X. So the sides that match are the parallel sides. So this one and this one. You're going to take your midsegment. You're going to multiply by 2. And you're going to equal it to the outside. The outside is the 13x minus 10. So take the middle, multiply by 2, equal it to the outside. Solve for X. You're going to distribute 2 to the 6 and 2 to the negative 1. There's a negative 2. So there's negative 2. Well, so you should be distributing. Nice. Paper. Yours is correct. So yours is also correct. Yeah, I'll go sometime. Yeah. Plus 10, plus 10. You could technically add the 2 instead of the 10. I'm going to get rid of the negative though, but it doesn't matter. Remember, you're going to get the same answer either way. So if you want to add 2, you would bring down a negative 8 on the other side. People get confused in math because there's 4 different ways to do it. And then you think that you're wrong because you didn't do it exactly the same way. So X is 8. So if you think about it, you need the perimeter. The end goal is to find the perimeter of the whole thing. You do not need to plug it into the inside because you need the outside number. So I'm going to plug it into the outside. So if I take 8 and I multiply by 13, because I'm going to plug it into the outside one, 13 times 8 minus 10, how much is this side going to be in a calculator? 13 times 8 minus 10. 94. So this side is 94. I need to find this side. This side corresponds to this midsegment. So I'm going to double this to make this number. So if this is 49, how much is the bottom? 98. The last side is 42. 42 matches with this side. So how much is this side over here? 84. The last step is to find the perimeter. So you just add up all the sides on the outside. So we add up these three numbers and that gives me my perimeter. How much total is it? 276. Nice. We're going to do 2 more problems. So we're going to skip the next 4. We're going to cross out 10. We're going to cross out 11. We're going to cross off 12. We're going to cross off 13. We're going to do the last 2, and then you guys can start working on the backside. And we're going to skip some on the back too. So for the next two say find an angle measure. So these are different. These are angles inside the triangle. It says find the measure of CBF. So if I start at C, I go to B, I end at F. It's talking about this opening right here. So in the end, that's where I'm going to plug it into. If I look at these angles, angles are one of 2 things. They either equal each other or they add to make 180. These are parallel lines cut by a transversal. So technically it's like, don't draw this, but I'm going to put it over here. These are parallel lines being cut by a transversal. Okay. I'm talking about this angle and this angle. Those are corresponding angles. They're in the same exact location, just slid over. Using your eyeballs, they are equal to each other. They either equal each other or they add to make 180. In this case, they both are acute. So we're going to equal them to each other and then plug it in to angle B. So I'm going to get rid of that 52 because that 52 is negative. And I don't like negatives. So I'm going to add the 52. I have 9x plus 54 equals 15x. What should I do with the next point? Minus 9x, hopefully. What's 15 minus 9? 6?
Yeah.
And then when you divide, what do you get? 9. So now we got to plug it back in because it wants the measure of angle CBF. So really B, it's talking about the middle letter B. So 9 times 9 plus 2. 83. That's what it is. So 83 degrees is that angle measure. If you look at the next problem, same thing, it's angles. We have to decide, do they equal each other or do they add to make 180? If you look at the opening, an angle is like an alligator's mouth, it's opening. Do these look the same? Ew. One's itsy bitsy teeny weeny and one's massive. Okay, they're not the same. So we're not equaling them. What are we doing? Adding to make 180. These are technically consecutive interior angles. If I drew parallel lines and a transversal, they're both on the inside. They are not the same. They are different. So we're going to add to make 180. So 6x plus 1 plus x plus 4 equals 180. So you will have to combine like terms. You're combining like terms. So 6x and 1x makes 7x. 1 and 4 make 5. And it makes a 2-step equation. And then figure out where you're going to plug it into. Because you got to plug it in, plug it in. 6 and 6x and 1x should come together. And then 1 and 4 should come together.
Oh, that's,
Because remember, if it's an x, it represents a 1.
I thought it was from four. Freaking four.
No. We're going to cross out a bunch.
And I didn't really find it.
What? 6 more minutes. What are you talking about? No, we get out at 9:03. You're like 20 minutes. So you should get 25. When you plug it in, you went R, T, V. So if you start at R, you go to T, you end at V. It's the middle letter, T. You're plugging it into T because it's the middle focused letter. So if X is 25 and it's 25 plus 4, how much is the answer? 29. Okay. So we're gonna cross off a bunch on the back. You do not have to do the whole back because obviously that's too much. We're not doing all that. Let's cross off some problems. On the back side, you can cross out. Let's see. Okay, you can cross out numero 1, 3, 8, 10, 11, 14, and 15. So for number 1, you're just writing or for the first problem they're doing number 2, it's writing the parallel pieces. Or you're putting your numbers in your picture and you're trying to figure out where it's going. Once you get to the math stuff, you're multiplying by 2 to the inside. Now it's 2026. How do you think I feel? I was born in